What's up, guys? I got a 2022 MC250. I know the title said 23, but here's the deal. From 21 to 23, they're exact same bike. So nothing's changed except some shroud decals. But I obviously changed the plastic. My bike isn't stock visually. I changed the seat cover just because the stock Gasgas seat covers don't have any grip at all. So I went ahead and just threw a gripper seat cover on it. I put the aftermarket plastics on it because I'm gonna be racing this bike in arena cross. So I need aftermarket plastic because I don't want to destroy my stock stuff when I go to resell the bike later on down the road. It's kind of like a little trick that I do to make the bike a little bit more visually appealing when I go to sell it later on. The bike is 100% stock with the exception of the seat cover, the plastic, the muffler. Inside of the Gasgas muffler they call it the ice cream cone screen. And if you take the end cap off, it's right there. You can cut it out of there. I cut it out. It gives a little bit more power. And then also on your airbox cover, there's a flap right here that restricts a lot of airflow. I cut that off. Why? I had a KTM in the past and I cut that off my older KTM, and it helps with throttle response, a little bit more power. So I did that, helped out. So with the exception of cutting the screen out, the flap, the seat cover, and the plastics, this bike is 100% stock. So we're gonna get out there, we're at Three Pumps today, and we're gonna try out this thing and see what settings can we make this thing feel good at. I've never ridden a Gasgas, but I have ridden a KTM 250. I've ridden a Husky 250. I've ridden every single bike brand 250 except for this. Now this bike, for the most part, is the same as a KTM. The only difference is this has cast clamps rather than machine clamps. It's got silver rims, which doesn't make a difference other than visually. It's got the difference in the exhaust. It's got, obviously, body works a little bit different. The handlebars are silver. I'm not sure if they're even a different bend, but they're silver. They don't look as cool because they're not black, but you know, whatever. It also has the Husqvarna swing arm. So it's basically a KTM with cast clamps and a Husqvarna swing arm. And then you got yourself a Gasgas. I forgot to mention that the Gasgas doesn't have, compared to the Husky and KTM, is it doesn't have the map switch. So these bikes come preset in map 1, which is the slower map if you're on a KTM or a Husky. So you can't use map 2 on these things like you can on the other bikes. You can go buy that switch and change the map and put it into map 2, and then you'll have traction control and all that other stuff. But as it comes, there's no traction control, and it's map 1, which is the slower map. Overall, power-wise, how does the bike feel for a 250? It definitely doesn't have the bark that I would want it to have, so I'm gonna end up drilling holes in the airbox. I'm gonna end up putting exhaust in this thing. So does that mean this bike is not fast and it's not good for the general consumer out there gonna buy it? Well, I'm racing pro and I need this thing to be pretty competitive. So for me, I need more power out of this thing. I just rode the bike and I was ripping around. I hit every jump on the track. So the bike's got plenty of power to do everything you need it to do. If you want a little bit more easy power, then yeah, I'd say, you know, get a couple other parts. I think drilling the hole in the airbox, a lot of teams do that, a lot of riders do that, so it's pretty common to do that on these things. I mean, even the KTM and Huskies come with holes already made in there, right? So it's kind of common sense. Drill some holes in there, you're gonna get more power out of it, more throttle response, and more so what you're getting is on the suspension side of things. We went 105 on the shock, and then on the forks, it's called for 10.4 bar, which is like 145 PSI. And I had like this much travel, which is like 2.5 inches of travel left over in the suspension. It was like so stiff. So I dropped it down to 129 PSI, which is 8.89 bar. And that definitely helped it out a lot. But these Gasgas come very soft in valving. Now, again, I'm a pro rider. If you're not a pro rider, you may not feel these same things that you're gonna feel that I'm feeling in the suspension. So for me, I went to the 129 PSI, which the air pressure is essentially your spring rate. So that gave me more travel through the suspension. I felt more comfort that way, but it felt really like it was falling through the stroke at the top half and it was really loading up the packing in the bottom. So I stiffened it 6 clicks. I softened air pressure and I stiffened the compression clicker 6 clicks. And that seemed to give it more hold up. The bike seemed more stable. When I come up to face the jumps, it wasn't kind of washing around on me as much as staying planted and just holding through the stroke a little bit better through the jumps. I tried messing with rebound a little bit on the fork, and when I tried messing with the rebound, it seemed like if I went one way, it would fix one thing and cause another, and then vice versa. So I just left rebound where it was at 12 clicks, which is standard. Then I felt like the shock was getting it was getting too much movement coming through some of the harder hits on the face of the jumps and stuff. So I stiffened the compression clicker 4 clicks, and that seemed to give it a little bit better hold up for me. And then when I was coming into my corner entry, I felt like the bike just really wanted to walk around a little bit. So I slowed down the rebound 2 clicks in the rear. And overall, that gave me a pretty good setup. Is it 100% dialed in? No, I think I might be able to get a little bit better, but where that's at, I think I can be pretty competitive feel-wise. But as far as overall feel of the bike's super comfortable. I was comparing it to my Honda 450 that I've been riding for the Pro Nationals and stuff. And when I come out of corners on the Honda, I've got to be very precise and stay in my line. If I get out of the line, the bike really wants to skate out on me. The frames feel very stiff and it feels like it wants to push out. Well, on this Gasgas, when you come out of a corner, you can lose your line a little bit and the bike still hooks up. There's a couple times where I come out of a corner, I'd lose my traction, or I was lose the wheel a little bit. I thought I was gonna lose traction and it was still at perfect traction. I was able just to power right out of it. And so I was going a little bit slower than I could have actually gone because I was used to my Honda feel. And I was thinking, like, if I come out of this line, I'm just gonna, the rear engine come right around me. And it did, and it stays planted. So with the combination of it just being a 250, so less power, lighter bike, and then the steel frame, all of those being a factor. Now this bike comes with Maxxis tires versus Dunlop. Every other brand that comes with Dunlops, this comes with Maxxis. I don't personally like the Maxxis. I don't think they're great. But like I just said, I'm getting more traction on this bike than I do on the Hondas, and I have worse tires. So that kind of tells you a little something there. Overall, I think it's a great bike. I'm pumped to be on it. I'm pumped to be able to race it. And the Kicker Arena Cross Series this year, like I said, I'm gonna get a few parts on here. I'm getting graphics set up right now. I'm gonna get all my sponsors and everybody that helps me out on here. West Avenue Plastic Surgery, Dr. Roth in Houston, Texas. He's gonna be my main sponsor. Of course, he's been my main sponsor this year. CJR Services, Wright Electric, Red Wing Shoes, Atlas Inspection Services. He's gonna help me get some parts set up on this thing, so thank you to him. If there's anything that y'all know about KTM's, Gasgas, or anything that I need to know to make this bike as good as possible, leave a comment down below. If there's anything y'all want to see me do with this bike or anything else on the channel, comment down below. I'll see you guys on the next ones. Peace.